Rain pattered softly against the bus windows, blurring the city lights into streaks of gold and silver. The evening was cold, and the air inside smelled faintly of damp coats and tired commuters. Among them sat Emily Carter, her hair slightly damp from the downpour, her eyelids heavy from exhaustion. It had been another grueling day. She had worked 2 shifts, one at the small diner where she waited tables, and another cleaning offices at night, just to keep food on the table for her 8-year-old son, Liam. The rent was due, groceries were running low, and the worn-out sneakers on Liam's feet had holes she hadn't yet found the time or money to replace. Her head throbbed from lack of sleep, her body ached from hours of standing, but more than that, her heart was heavy with a constant fear that she wouldn't be able to give her boy the life he deserved. As the bus lurched forward, Emily clutched her worn canvas bag to her chest, staring out at the neon-lit streets. She told herself she'd stay awake until her stop. Missing it meant a long, rainy walk home. But fatigue had other plans. Her head slowly tilted to the side, and before she realized what was happening, it rested against the shoulder of the man sitting next to her. She was too far gone to notice that he was impeccably dressed in a tailored charcoal suit, his polished leather shoes gleaming faintly under the bus lights. The man in the suit. Alexander Hayes, CEO of Hayes & Company, one of the largest investment firms in the city, had taken the bus that evening for the first time in over a decade. His chauffeur had called in sick, and he didn't want to wait for a replacement. Sitting among strangers, feeling the quiet hum of the city in a way he hadn't in years, was oddly grounding. When he felt the gentle weight of someone's head against his shoulder, he turned slightly. The woman beside him was fast asleep, her breathing soft and uneven, her hair damp and curling slightly at the ends. Her hands clutched a frayed bag, and dark circles lay heavy under her eyes. Something about her stirred an unfamiliar ache in him. She looked like someone who had fought too many battles in too short a time. He considered waking her but stopped. Her exhaustion was so evident, he couldn't bring himself to disturb her rest. Instead, he sat quietly, looking out the window, making sure the sway of the bus didn't jostle her awake. The shock. Emily stirred as the bus slowed near her stop. She blinked, realizing her head had been resting on someone's shoulder. Mortified, she pulled away. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," she whispered. "No need," the man said, his voice calm and warm. "You looked like you needed it." She offered a small, embarrassed smile, but her eyes darted to the floor. She stood to get off, but before she could, he spoke again. "Wait, this is your stop, isn't it? Do you walk from here?" "Yes," she replied cautiously. "It's not far. It's pouring out there," he said, glancing at the drenched streets. "Let me at least give you my umbrella." She shook her head. "I can't take that from you." "Then consider it a loan," he said with a faint smile, pressing the umbrella into her hands. An unexpected encounter. The next evening, Emily saw the man again, this time at the bus stop. She handed back the umbrella, thanking him. He noticed her shivering in her thin jacket and frowned. "Rough day?" he asked. "Just normal," she said, trying to make light of it. But as the bus rumbled along, they talked. She told him, carefully edited, that she was a single mom, that she worked 2 jobs, and that life was a bit of a juggling act. She didn't mention the overdue bills or the eviction notice tucked into her bag. He listened more than he spoke, but when he did, his words carried an unusual gentleness. She still didn't know who he was, just Alex, the man in the suit. The turning point. A week later, Emily came home to find Liam sitting at the kitchen table, trying to do his homework by the dim light of a single lamp. The electricity had been cut off. She sank into a chair, holding back tears as Liam asked, "Mom, are we gonna be okay?" That night, she rode the bus with heavy shoulders, not expecting to see Alex. But there he was, sitting in the same seat. One look at her face, and he knew something was wrong. "Emily, what happened?" he asked. And for the first time, she told him the truth. She spoke in a quiet voice, telling him about the bills, the rent, the shoes she couldn't afford for Liam, and the fear that kept her awake at night. She expected pity, maybe an awkward silence, but not what came next. "I might have a way to help," Alex said. "I run a company. We have an opening, nothing glamorous, but it's steady pay, good hours, and benefits. I think you'd be perfect for it." She stared at him, unsure whether to believe him. The revelation. The next day, she went to the address he gave her, only to find herself standing in front of a towering glass skyscraper with Hayes and Company in gleaming letters above the doors. Inside, she was greeted warmly and escorted to an office where Alex was waiting. She looked at him, realization dawning. "You're the CEO." He smiled faintly. "I didn't think it mattered when we were talking on the bus." Emily was stunned. Part of her wanted to refuse out of pride, but something in his eyes told her this offer came not from charity, but from genuine belief in her. She accepted the job. A new beginning. In the months that followed, Emily's life transformed. The job allowed her to work normal hours, spend evenings with Liam, and finally catch her breath. She found herself laughing more, sleeping better, and dreaming again. Alex didn't interfere in her life beyond the office, but he became a quiet presence, someone who checked in, encouraged her, and believed in her potential when she didn't believe in herself. 1 year later, Emily stood in her small but cozy apartment, watching Liam run around in brand new sneakers, the rent paid, the fridge full. She thought about that rainy night, the stranger's shoulder, and the kindness that had changed everything. Sometimes, miracles didn't come in the form of winning the lottery or sudden fame. Sometimes, they arrived quietly, on a bus, in the shape of a man in a suit who offered you his shoulder when you were too tired to hold yourself up. And as Emily looked out at the rain falling softly against the window, she smiled. Life was still a challenge, but now, she knew, she wasn't facing it alone.